Everybody, what is going on? The Catch fam, hope you guys are doing phenomenal tonight, man. Hope everyone is having a great Tuesday. You guys know what time it is, man. We are hopping into another live, way too early 2023 fantasy football mock draft with you guys, with the Catch fam. We've got Steven in the building tonight. What's going on, man?
Nothing much, man. Got my Eagles jersey and my Rocky Balboa style hood, man. Excited to get in this. This is my first Super Flex Dynasty draft, mock draft. We're not going to. Oh, dude, no, that's what I was getting pumped for, man.
Oh, I thought we were doing a regular mock.
Okay, no, that's straight too, man, because you know I'm killing on these, dude. That's how And actually, this is now good because I know my spot here, and I can take the guy that I want to take and redraft.
Oh, this is not your spot either. We haven't hit the order yet. Poor Steven. There you go. There's your order.
Oh, that's good. He'll still fall there, I think.
Okay. Oh, great. I'm right next to you. But anyways, guys, we have a ton to talk about in terms of NFL news, in terms of fantasy news. All kinds of things have happened over the last 24 hours or so. We're going to have some fun tonight. We're going to hop right into this mock draft. Everyone's here. So you guys are drafting with us. We're going to go ahead and get that going because, like I said, we have a ton to get into. Super excited to be here with you guys. Hit that like button on the way in. Hit that subscribe button if you guys are new to the channel. Hop in the live chat. Let us know what's popping. And yeah, let's get to it, man. So in about a month, Steven, since you streamed. So if there's anything pressing,
NFL, Danny Dimes is better than Kyler Murray.
Okay.
No, nothing pressing, man. A lot of excitement that's obviously come up recently. A lot of quarterbacks still obviously moving around between the rookies, between the free agents, between just the mix of trades that could go down. It definitely a lot of excitement. I am very eager to see what ends up happening with Aaron Rodgers. To be honest, I think that's probably the biggest piece that can make a championship team here. Honestly, if Lamar Jackson went to any of the 31 other teams, I don't think that's a Super Bowl team as much as I love him. But Aaron Rodgers is the guy that could go to another roster and make it a Super Bowl team overnight. So definitely excited about that.
I'm sorry you missed your pick, bro.
Dude, it's okay, man, because Jonathan Taylor was actually the second guy I was thinking about.
Who's the first?
Travis Kelce.
Okay, well, in that case, I'll take Kelce in your honor.
Yeah, I've wanted to kind of see, like, that is like definitely something I'm looking at next year is to take Kelce in the first round. Totally crazy idea, but
no, not at all.
Jonathan Taylor, I do think, is somebody that is going to be a nice asset next year. Seeing with the Steichen coming over, he definitely loves the run game. I think he's going to be important to whatever quarterback we bring in house.
So, okay. Sorry, I actually feel bad you missed your pick there, and then I took Kelce. I did feel bad. I could have easily just changed that for you, but
no worries.
So, two quick notes for tonight's stream because we might be just a little bit sidetracked from the chat. So keep the chat going, guys. We'll hop in when we can, but we want to kind of touch on the numerous topics from the last day or so. Second side note is I am sick. My wife was sick this past weekend, Friday through Sunday, and then I woke up today with whatever she had, as did the baby. So if my brain power seems off or if I'm like blowing my nose, it's because I just have a head cold. I just want to put that out there too. But we're here nonetheless. So let's backtrack. Aaron Rodgers, right? This isn't like a revelation, but I think the Rodgers to the Jets thing is happening. You know,
I think it makes a lot of sense, especially as I think Rodgers kind of graduates into what I think he's trying to do, which is that entertainment end of career route. And I think New York is such a big place, obviously, for the quarterback position. Not many people can handle it. I think Aaron Rodgers is the first guy to maybe be in that Joe Namath type of role in New York City, big name quarterback in New York, and handle it as like a celebrity almost, right? I mean, even when Eli was there, he never really had like that much of like a swagger. When he was playing football, I felt like when he was playing ball, Eli wasn't like a sexy name, but Aaron Rodgers comes there overnight. I think this is a massive deal, and I think he wants to go there for sure. I think his choice and where he wants to go is much more than football now. It's almost that's just my personal take on it. I think that where he wants to go, whether it was Vegas or whether it was New York, I really think it had to do more with things than just football, right? Because you look at the Jets roster, it's obviously great, but the Packers roster has been winning consistently, and I think there is a lot of pride just being like kind of an all-time Green Bay Packer staying there, but it's definitely run its course, man. He has definitely soured, I think, a lot of Green Bay fans, and I think it is about time for them to part ties.
Yeah, it's obviously going to be either Rodgers. At this point, in my mind, he either retires completely or he goes to the Jets, because all the reports are that the Packers do not want Rodgers, supposedly, anymore. So, obviously, today, team personnel, all the brass for the Jets supposedly flew out and met Aaron Rodgers. So, I think it's going to happen. If Rodgers wants it to happen, I think if he doesn't want it to happen, then he's going to retire. But I think he's going to play.
I don't think he plays for the Packers again. I think 2 off seasons. I mean, you could really say 3, but 2 real off seasons with this much drama. I think it's really just kind of become like not like appetizing anymore. It's almost just like, dude, like stop crying. Like we don't even want you anymore. And then after the GM came out and said like we kind of basically got to check this guy's headspace to see if he's good for the team. That was basically like, dude, like you're just an annoyance at this point. Like I don't want to have to deal with you anymore. So I mean, honestly, I get it from the Packers organizational side. Like it's a good move to just move on. Now I think they're stupid to bring him back. I think you see what you got in Jordan Love. I don't think he's long-term future. But Aaron Rodgers is an older quarterback, and it's not even the age thing for him. It's just that I think this guy is looking at opportunities beyond football. I think his passion for football has kind of gotten closer and closer to the end of that.
Yeah, I still like Rodgers. I'm not.
Me too. Me too. Yeah. He's fun. Yeah, I mean, I can't wait to see him on some sort of movie or TV show or being a host or something. I mean, he's going to be great entertainment after the game too.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited. I'm actually excited to see Rodgers on the Jets if it does happen. So yeah, we've got that situation, and we might have this situation still looming in a month or 2 months. Who knows, right? Very, very difficult to call. So let's talk about some of the more concrete newsworthy shifts, right? We've got Derek Carr going to the Saints yesterday, a 4-year deal worth $150 million total, $100 million guarantees, $70 million effectively fully guaranteed, $60 million at signing, $10 million in year 3 vesting after year 1. And Carr structured his deal specifically to accommodate the Saints cap issue. So, what is because my initial thought, right, is Chris Olave fantasy when I saw this news, right? But what's your kind of initial thoughts on the Derek Carr signing for the Saints?
Yeah, definitely Chris Olave is the biggest thing for me too. But when you look at it from like kind of a non-fantasy lens and you look at it as just kind of a broader scope of how this impacts the NFL, I've heard like a bunch of different sides of this. Well, mainly the 2 sides of like Derek Carr is not like that top 4, top 5 quarterback. Like he's not winning the Super Bowl. Why would you go out and do this? And then I've heard the thing of like you're throwing your hat in the ring and you're competing, right? I don't understand why people discredit the second side. Like you're throwing your hat in the ring, you're competing, because like this division in my mind now is like the Saints. Like they are going to win this division, in my opinion. They are going to be in the playoffs. They can win a decent amount of games now because that division is so trash. And Derek Carr, I think, is a great leader and an above average quarterback. So who knows? Maybe they do win 1 round in the playoffs, or they get to the second round of the playoffs and they can shake things up with whoever they play against. But it's not like you got like Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes or Joe Burrow, but that doesn't mean you punt on the position and just hope you get some rookie star, right?
Sure.
I think going after Derek Carr is a great move. They've got a great defense in place. They're going to have a lot of question marks at the running back position, obviously, but this is a good team here, good team in place, and I think now it also gives you the opportunity to see if Michael Thomas stays on the team. Do you trade him or do you keep this guy? Because I think if with Derek Carr there, Michael Thomas could really skyrocket as well.
Yeah, that's a fair point too. As long as it's the same story over and over.
Mentality has always been Michael Thomas's deal as of late, but when he's been healthy, I mean, this guy is like he literally is like Antonio Brown-esque. I mean, his skill set is AB style, but then his like mental mind state is just it's the off the field crap. He just can't get on the field.
Yeah. But hey, I agree with a lot of what you're saying. I think that the Saints don't need to win a lot of football games to win this division, right? I mean, the Bucks got in with what 9 wins or 8 wins last year. Either way, not a whole lot, right? Single digits. So then you look at the Falcons, right? You know, looking like they're going to be led by Desmond Ridder this year. You look at the Panthers; they're a huge question mark at quarterback. And you look at the Bucks; looks like Kyle Trask is going to be the starter there at the moment. So it's like,
gosh, that is awful.
Yeah, it's the Saints' division to lose, especially after the signing and everything. So yeah, I think it's a good signing. I think the offense will take a step forward. I think you made a good point, though. We don't exactly know what to expect at the running back position. I don't think Kamara is going to be able to start the season if he's able to play at all. And I don't know. They could always. There's it's a good rookie class at the running back position, but outside of that, Jawan Johnson is going to be a free agent, but he had a great year last year as well. At the tight end position, receivers look good, so should be interesting. All right. Shout out to Derek Carr, though. We're happy that you got the bag and everything. So let's see. Geno Smith, a 3-year, $105 million contract extension. How do you feel about that one?
I love that, man. Just I think Gino's a guy who like worked his tail off to get his name back in the ring of it too. And I mean, to look at how that guy's career has gone from basically, such a boom opportunity coming out of the draft out of West Virginia and then basically seen as a bust to then work himself right back up into the national spotlight. And it just makes so much sense that Pete Carroll's his coach, right? Because I think that their personalities really mesh. And I think Pete really likes what he sees out of Gino. But it also allows the Seahawks flexibility too, because they sign him back to a somewhat friendly deal, and then they can, maybe explore the quarterback market in this draft still, or just load up on talent. Because this Seahawks team, in my opinion, I mean, they're number 2 to the 49ers, and there's not a whole lot of questions to me. I mean, like the Rams, you can't just assume they're going to be back in it, and the Cardinals, they might be the worst team in the NFL next year.
Yeah. Shout out to the Cardinals. But yeah, I love the signing for the Hawks, right? And I still think they're in a position, like you kind of touched on, where they can draft someone to place behind Geno, right? Whether they do it this year or following season, right? I don't know, because I do feel like there's a lot of buzz that they might go after like Will Levis or Anthony Richardson even. But I'm like, I don't know. I feel like you're already kind of throwing your hat in the ring to win now with Geno at quarterback. And you may as well. I mean, the defense played great last season. The offensive line had improvements, right? Receivers played great. Running backs, Kenneth Walker obviously was great. And, got to give Noah Fant a shout out at the tight end position, right? So overall, like, I don't think they're too far away. Like you're saying, the Niners are still the better team in that division, but Seahawks are still a very solid team. So I think it'll be interesting to see if they potentially trade out of that spot, if they stay where they are and do draft a quarterback, or if they just go for one of these studs on defense or even offensive line. But I think even if they trade back, there's a lot of talent in this first round this year. So it'll definitely be interesting to see how they kind of work with that.
Yeah, and not to jump into something that you were probably going to bring up anyways, but what's your take on the Justin Fields scenario? Kind of what would you do if you were at GM with the Chicago Bears, and how, let's say he were to, okay, so let's answer that question, and then how is he better or worse fantasy-wise if he's with the Bears or not with the Bears?
So, okay, we've kind of touched on this a couple times throughout the past couple weeks, right? And my belief was that the Bears were never going to entertain trading Justin Fields and drafting another quarterback. So I've been on the Fields side through this whole thing. But with that being said, like Fields on a different team, I don't know what team he would go to if he did get traded, right? Because the asking price is going to be high for sure. And right now, when you look around like the landscape of teams that need a quarterback, they don't have a ton of draft capital outside of like the Jets, really, right? If I'm not mistaken. So I don't know, man. I was never really I never got to the point where I was thinking about how would Fields look on a different team, if that makes sense. So
Yeah, I'm with you too on that. But like, if you really think about just trying to win ball games for this Bears team, I think it makes the most sense to trade Justin Fields for one of those early teams, like maybe even the Colts or something like that. And then you stockpile more draft picks, and you still got the 101. You go out and you take one of these quarterbacks to have on a friendly rookie deal, and then you can still freaking load up on your team. Because if you look at this, Fields got 2 more years left, right? The Bears aren't winning crap for the next 3 to 4 years, realistically. You're going to have a completely different coaching staff by the time you're winning ball games. You might as well get a quarterback on a more friendly deal. And Fields, for as exciting as he was, they won 0 ball games. And I know his team sucks, but I don't know, man. Is he just exciting because the style that he played that got everybody so many fantasy points, that's not sustainable, and that's why he got hurt. There's no way they can do that next year with him.
Okay, I think you make a couple fair points in your argument here.
But fantasy-wise, that would suck because I think if he's in Chicago, he's going to be running for his life, and it'd be kind of fun because that dude can take a dash for 100 yards any second.
Yeah, the Bears have a ton of cap room. Like they within the next 2 to 3 years, I think can put the pieces around Justin Fields to make him successful. I think you look
but
at
Chicago's never been a landing spot for big stars. I mean, like I just can't think of any big time players that have gone there out of their in the free agency market, anyways.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you had Allen Robinson birthed out of there.
Yeah, they did.
Who, by the way, Allen Robinson got cut.
Yeah, they weren't they looking to shop him first?
They probably were. I don't believe that happened. But I don't know where it's going with that. Hold on. Let me make this pick. I really wanted, for some reason, I thought Pacheco would fall out here. I'll go Dylan, I guess. My running backs kind of suck. But, yeah. That's a fair point in terms of it hasn't really been a landing spot for free agency. But I do think that the Bears keeping Fields is the right move, personally. Because, listen, Bryce Young could be great. CJ Stroud could be great. Richardson, Levis, whoever could be great, right? But you know what you have in Justin Fields already. So I would take the safer approach. And plus, you already are starting to form, that chemistry, right? And the leadership and locker room and everything around Justin Fields. So to take him out of the equation would kind of feel betraying, I think. So I think you build
it's
around
definitely a little cutthroat. Definitely a little cutthroat.
Yeah, I think you build around that momentum, and you can still stockpile. I mean, that's the thing, right? Teams are still going to want to trade with the Bears for the number one pick.
They better trade out of that spot, especially after the Jalen Carter stuff.
Yeah, and everything that I've seen is that they're getting a good deal for that number one pick because multiple teams want it, and they know that, right? Including your Colts, right?
Yeah. They're going to be aggressive too. Yeah. The Colts are definitely going to be aggressive, but
it's about damn time.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like I was saying, I think I said to you the other day, like I don't think the Colts can afford to go after somebody that could be like I don't think they care about swinging for the fences like with a guy like Anthony Richardson or Will Levis. Like I think that is something they would definitely do because they've been playing it safe for so many years. Swinging for the fences makes sense. But Bryce Young, with his size, with the obvious durability questions that come about because of how he is so small. Like he's going to probably be playing at like 180 pounds in the NFL, which is absurd at the quarterback position. It's not even about the height.
Yeah.
I don't think the NFL, I don't think the Colts can afford to draft a quarterback like that after the Andrew Luck situation. I think that they're going to go after a guy with a frame like a Will Levis or an Anthony Richardson who can really just withstand it. And I also think that meshes a little bit more with Frank Steichen or with Steichen. But if you look at it, like CJ Stroud, I think is probably the most polished prospect at the quarterback group, even though I'm not a big fan of him.
Really?
He's definitely the most polished player. I just don't know why. Like whenever I watched him at Ohio State, I never really got like that excited about him. I got more excited about like other Ohio State quarterbacks that like turned out to be kind of bummish. But Stroud just never really did it for me, and he always had like amazing talent around him. So I don't know.
I like Stroud to the Colts.
I don't hate that, but I would like to see a little bit of like a guy like a that could do something with his feet and is willing to do something with his feet.
Yeah,
Because we need a playmaker at every position.
and crap, what was I about to say? I think there's a strong scenario that the Colts stay right where they are on the board. I don't know if they're going to be able to trade up.
That'd be dangerous, man.
Well, I just think that the sweepstakes at quarterback, they might, especially Ballard. I could see him just sitting back and saying, "Listen, we're at pick 4, right? Arizona could trade out, right? If they don't, they're probably picking the best offensive lineman or defensive lineman in this draft, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that leaves whoever trades with the Bears at number 1 and the Texans to take 2 out of the top 4 guys, who would be Young, Stroud, Levis, and Richardson, right? So that leaves one of those guys there at number 4. And I could just see Ballard kind of, I don't know, kind of being set in his ways and just sitting there at number 4 and seeing who falls, so to speak, at the quarterback position. But I could also see him being even more dangerous. This might be too out there, and trading out of number 4, trading back, and like trading back to 7 maybe with the Raiders, or 8 with the Falcons, or 9 with the Panthers, and seeing if someone falls out at the quarterback position that far back.
You know what? I think he would love to do that.
Yeah.
I don't think Chris Ballard is calling any of the shots on the first pick. I think this is Irsay. I think Irsay was so pissed about.
I don't know why. I don't know why I said Ballard. I meant Irsay that whole time.
No, but there's no way Irsay. Look, I mean, Ballard should be the one making the pick. I mean, I have a lot of beef with him, but I don't think Irsay is allowing anybody other than himself to pick the quarterback. He has become a very active owner, and I think it's very clear he wants his guy, whoever it is, and I think he wants him now, and he wants him quick. He is not going to jump back, because that just doesn't seem like it's in any of the dynamics of who Irsay has been over the past couple of years. He seems very pissed and very eager and very wild card-esque. And I understand like the wild card would be trading back, but you trade out of this draft, you're not getting as good of prospects, and you're not getting your quarterback. And they need the quarterback. We're not missing other defensive players. And I also think if we don't land the quarterback position, the locker room is lost. We have already lost the locker room to some extent over the quarterback position. If we don't go eagerly after the QB position and try to make a statement to not only the fans, but also to the players, saying like, we're going to go get your guys' leader. We're going to go get us our guy for the next 10 years. You're going to lose a lot of guys like Quentin Nelson and Darius Leonard going forward.
Yeah, I definitely think the Colts are up there in terms of teams who like are struggling to understand what their identity is. Like, I think they're literally right up there with like Washington, Arizona, like teams that are just out here in limbo. Like, what are we going to be moving forward? So I think you make a good point. Like, as much as like traditionally Ballard and Irsay, I don't know why I keep saying Ballard, have kind of like sat back and just kind of done what they're going to do. I do think that, like you said, this is a time where they cannot do that if they want to have any saving grace, because just don't forget, like, this is a team that was contesting for the playoffs just a season ago. Well, I guess technically 2 seasons now, but with Carson Wentz.
And who knows how the Titans are going to really go. I mean, I believe in Mike Vrabel,
too. Yeah.
But obviously this Tannehill thing is a big question mark. But, I mean, Malik Willis is clearly not the future of this team. With Derrick Henry potentially on the trade market too, it's like, I think this team could be positioning to like, we can't finish with 9-10 wins anymore, just like barely win the division, because I think Jacksonville said, yo, we're going to go out there, we're going to spend a boatload of money, and we are going to become the future of the AFC South with Trevor Lawrence. And now I think the Titans are like, oh crap, like we got the coach, we got the framework here and the organizational support, but we need a quarterback too, because it's not Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah, so what do you think about the rumors surfacing of Derrick Henry being on the move?
I mean, I like that. I think that it's from a fantasy perspective, it probably hurts him horribly because I don't
That's
think
fair.
anywhere he goes, he's going to see that kind of volume. I think I heard that he might go to the Bills or something like that. That would be god awful for him because basically all the value of those touchdowns and everything, I think, is kind of out the window at that point with Josh Allen. Let me see.
Yeah, I don't disagree that, like, listen, I think Henry could still be very, very, very good fantasy wise, but at the end of the day, the touches that Tennessee were giving him were ridiculous, right? But at the same time, if he goes to the right contending team, by the way, guys, I'm going to pause this draft because I forgot to change some of the settings, and we have like a ton of extra rounds from off air. All right, so we're good now. We're good. But yeah, I mean, you just think about it, right? If Henry goes to the right team, like, could be huge for him actually. But at the same time, with the way Tennessee utilized him, no other team is in a position to utilize Derrick Henry the way that they utilized him. So
I think there's really only one team that or two teams that probably have the identity to use Derrick Henry in the same type of capacity, and that would be the Falcons or the Commanders. No other team I can think of really thinks that their running back position should be used like that, like where you just beat it in to a pulp. And I mean, the Titans play like the single back role. Like every other team basically plays the committee, even the Falcons and the Commanders to an extent, right? So it's like, I don't know. I think if he, it would be hard pressed, I think, for him to leave too. I don't think they really want to get that done. But they're going to have to make some moves. That's for sure. They're going to have to do something. They're going to have to stay competitive. But I think if the Titans rolled out the same roster, I think they could win the division again. I think they could. I think they could. I think they could definitely knock off the Jags because the Titans had so many injuries last season, including Ryan Tannehill. I think if you just maybe bolster up the receiver position a little bit, the Titans team is going to be very strong. The Colts and the Texans are definitely not going to win it next year.
I think the Jags will run with the division, but I think it's fair that just coaching wise, Tennessee can still be a threat. But yeah, I think it's interesting. Like you put Henry on the Chiefs, like that would be crazy. I would hate that for Pacheco, but that's one I've seen rumored. I mean, that's the thing, right? We got this loose report, and now everyone's like making speculation of Henry on the Bills or the Chiefs, and it's like, all right, well, let's just pump the brakes a little bit. But definitely another similar trade rumor surfacing is that Nick Chubb is going to be traded. But I've already heard that's been debunked. Like that was not a solid report at all. But that would be interesting, I guess.
Well, he's another locker room guy too. I mean, you trade Nick Chubb. I mean, that locker room is. I got to imagine that the percentage of players that are with Deshaun Watson is probably like below 40% in that locker room. Like not only for the off the field stuff, but just the fact that when he came in, they lost so badly and the offense was so much worse. And he just like got the job handed to him. That's never a good look. And they literally just like forfeited a playoff push. So that's a nightmare of a freaking organization.
Well, another one is Cortland Sutton, supposedly.
Yeah.
Trade block as well.
The legend, Cortland Sutton. Yeah.
So we got all that going on. Let's touch on Danny Dimes. The Giants and Daniel Jones, the GOAT, have agreed on a 4-year, $160 million contract, $40 million per year average. So you got that, and that leads Saquon Barkley with a franchise tag slapped on. So I think we both like this move.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely the right move for the Giants. Also, by the way, shout out to everybody giving the what's up to me. I appreciate that. Albert, what's cracking? Thomas, how you doing? Nice to meet you as well. But yeah, no, I think the Giants, maintain kind of the identity of that offense, which is that RPO option with Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley, and allows them to do what they need to do, which is just build on that young front on the line with that offensive line and defensive line that they've been building over the past couple of years, and now go out and get that receiver star power. And let's see what Daniel Jones can do, right? And I feel like there's all this talk about like the contract they just gave Daniel Jones, but like honestly, the number is just a number. It all has to be put into perspective with like what today's market offers. And like the fact is that it's like inflation, right? Like a quarterback is going to go for, 10 mil 10 years ago, and it's going to probably be like 20 mil now. Like the numbers just change over time. Yep. And the NFL salary cap keeps going up. The ratings keep going up. These quarterbacks are going to be getting, it's going to be very standard to see these quarterbacks getting have billion-dollar contracts.
Yeah, I talked about this a lot the last like week or two, and talked about, people coming out and saying like it's ridiculous if Jones gets 40 million per year. If he gets 45, I didn't necessarily disagree on the 45, but he has to go in asking for that number,
Yeah.
Hold on, let me make this.
The benefit of having an agent. Sneak this to Lamar Jackson.
Poor Lamar. That's a tough pick. I'm gonna go Tyler Boyd here though. But yeah. So literally, with him making 40 mil on average, he's right in line with Stafford and Prescott. He's right above Carr, Cousins, and Goff. Is that crazy? Because I don't think it is.
No.
He's still below Allen, Mahomes, Watson, Murray, Russ, and Rodgers. So you've got Lamar right, actually kind of a little bit below the mark. Well, below Jared Goff with the franchise tag now at 32.4. Literally the only quarterbacks who haven't gotten paid now are T-Law, Burrow. Tua Time is going to get a contract. And then you got obviously Hurts, who's making like nothing because he got drafted in the late first round. And I think that's it. Burrow and Hurts are going to get paid.
Dude, I don't know, man. The Eagles always kind of sketch me with the quarterback position, but yeah, I think Burrow could potentially.
And Herbie. I forgot Herbie. Sorry, Herbie.
Herbie and Burrow, I think, are going to set I think Burrow particularly is going to set the bar so high. Like he's going to definitely
he's their savior.
He's so much bigger. He is Ohio. Like the Akron boy coming. I mean, he's literally like the star, and he is definitely like outside of Mahomes, in my opinion. I think he's the biggest celebrity in the NFL right now, maybe especially at the quarterback position. But yeah, he's just got so much star power. You just have to keep that guy in there. My only hope is that they do the most to make sure they keep kind of Burrow, Chase, Higgins. Joe Mixon, I think, is out the door, which, it's a running back position. They can replace him. But, dude, I like the Bengals a lot, man, and he's definitely going to get the bag.
Yeah, for sure. But, yeah, overall, like to your point, it's not the contract itself per year is not that crazy. It's a great signing bonus, but like you said, every year the market's going to change regardless of position. It's the same as Christian Kirk getting the deal that he got last year at the wide receiver position. By the way, I totally did not see Jared Goff get drafted and was like holding out for him. That like Love, Smith, and Rodgers went. And quarterback's kind of ugly for me, but we'll survive. Here. So Barkley gets the franchise tag. I don't really know how much there is to talk about with Lamar Jackson at the moment. So obviously he gets the non-exclusive franchise tag, right? So teams can make an offer for him, but the Ravens are allowed to match whatever offer that's going to be. And if there is a trade, the opposing team has to trade at least 2 first-round picks. So listen, there's only so many teams in the sweepstakes for Lamar Jackson, right? You've had a lot of these teams supposedly coming out and saying they are no longer in the sweepstakes, which is like really weird because you just don't see that happening for other players.
Definitely collusions going on, in my opinion, man.
There's some interesting stuff probably at work.
Dang it. Gosh, dang it. I was waiting on Chig Okonkwo right there. Gosh.
You have no tight end, huh? God, that kind of startled me, bro.
Sorry, man.
Yeah. But yeah, I think like Washington is kind of in the mix here, which really scares me. Is it crazy to think that Lamar is just going to be back in Baltimore?
I
Because
mean, if you recall, like I have been kind of saying that, but I just think he's going to be in Baltimore, but on the couch. Like now, I'm just
he's not
thinking
going
he
to.
sits, but
Yeah.
it's going to be really tough for him to get moved anywhere, man. I just think he means too much to the city, and
Well, and that's the thing, right? With this specific franchise tag, is that the Ravens are basically saying, anyone out there, come make an offer, right?
yeah,
Because they literally do not believe that anybody is going to make an offer that Lamar is going to like more. And what that's going to lead to is Lamar is going to refuse to sign the franchise tag. He's probably going to hold out. And I just think it's going to continue to be something we're probably going to see all offseason. So
yeah.
um, definitely be interesting. But I just think right now there's not too much to talk about because a lot of what we're going to be talking about is speculation. And you could say that about like Aaron Rodgers, for example. You could say that about, I don't know, Derek Carr before he got traded or signed and everything. So I don't know. I just think with Lamar, there's only so much we can really speculate on at the moment. We kind of just have to continue to let it play out.
I will say though, it's really unfortunate if he were to let's either if he comes and he plays week one or if he sits week one and he doesn't get a long term deal. I think it's really unfortunate because Lamar, if he does play, is going to play differently, I think.
Yeah.
Lamar strikes me as a guy who he's about his team, he's about winning, but he's about his like personal like himself and managing himself and making sure that him and his family are okay. And he thinks he can do that himself. Right. And I think he looks at this like he looked at it like with the playoff push in the last few games. He's like, dude, like I'm not going to come out here and risk my ass, especially after what's been going on this past year. And we're obviously not behind closed doors, but
Sure.
I think really the only guy that's probably sticking up for him right now is Harbaugh. I do think Harbaugh is like, yo, my job's on the line if you don't come back, Lamar, because
I think
Harbaugh is fired if Lamar
yeah.
does not come back.
I
Because
think he's already on the hot seat.
and I don't think that's necessarily fair, but I think that I mean I think he's one of the best coaches in the league. But without Lamar coming back, this is going to turn into a situation where they're going to have potentially like 2 to 3 losing seasons in a row. I consider last season a losing season, but they did make the playoffs, so I guess you can't.
Yeah.
And I mean they had Pro Bowl Tyler Huntley, so
that's true. The quarterback was a Pro Bowler. That's a great point. Yeah, I've also heard a lot of speculation in terms of Lamar might be more hurt than we really know about, right? And a lot of teams are concerned about giving him a fully guaranteed contract when his play style enables him to get hurt more than other quarterbacks. And the knee issue from last season and the other knee issue from the year before could be lingering more than your average fan knows or willing to think about. So I think there's a lot at play and a lot of different directions. And like I said, we're gonna have to just kind of sit back and see what happens for now. So we have got a lot of franchise tags though.
exciting
Cowboys
franchise tags.
Yeah, Tony Pollard, Josh Jacobs. I have read reports that the Raiders and Josh Jacobs are trying to get as close to a long-term deal as possible. The Jaguars have franchise tagged Evan Ingram. Obviously, we talked about Lamar and Saquon, but all those other the Commanders franchise tagged Daron Payne. But fantasy.
Dude, Daron Payne's a dog, man.
He is. Yeah, he's great. So,
what about Jalen Ramsey? What do you think is going to happen there?
I think he'll probably be on the move. I think that the Rams are low key hitting into rebuild, right? Like they got their championship. I think I've read reports that Stafford, like there's a possibility he's not back next year. I think the Rams.
It's Baker time, baby.
I seriously, I think the Rams are because I think there's a strong chance Aaron Donald. Like I think Donald and Stafford are kind of sitting back, and even McVay to some degree, kind of seeing how things are going to shape out. But like I could see a lot of changes coming for that organization in the next year or two. Yeah, so I think Ramsey's on the move because they need to get some draft capital back. So we'll see what happens. But Yeah, I think he's on the move for sure.
I mean, he's a guy who can definitely push a team into that kind of championship window, like the Cincinnati Bengals. If they were to go out and get a guy like Jalen Ramsey, I mean, they're not gonna if they don't bring Joe Mixon back, they don't bring Samaje Perine back. The running back position is obviously left void, and they'll probably address that in the draft, right? But they're going to have, I think, some cap opportunity to take advantage of a guy like Jalen Ramsey, because Ramsey, they don't need to structure him long term. So by the time that you got to, fix Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow, Ramsey's potentially gone, right?
Yeah.
But man, I think I heard Ramsey to the Lions is another one potentially. That could be fun. That could be fun. But that defense sucks so bad in the secondary. They need a lot of pieces.
It's kind of like the Derrick Henry thing. It's like you're going to see, like we get the report that he's on the move, and then you're just going to see all kinds of speculation of Ramsey to the Lions, Ramsey to the Eagles, Ramsey to the Jets. Like, it's just, we just have to sit back and see what happens. Robbie Gould is not re-signing with them.
Yeah, I know.
Big news.
I actually think that is really impactful on the 49ers like long-term goal for a Super Bowl, because I feel like if you look at their playoff runs over the past 2 years particularly, they have won games strictly by the kicker position. You remember that game against Green Bay 2 years ago where they I don't think they had 20 passing yards, and I think they have a special teams touchdown or something, and it was basically field goals or whatever, right? And then you've got this year, Robbie Gould is he's literally unfazed in the playoffs, man. This guy is just diming in kicks left and right. The kicker position obviously gets overlooked. It's kind of a joke, I guess, to some people, but not to everybody, right? And I think the 49ers kind of screwed up by not giving him his paper, man, because he is a beast in the clutch.
Yeah, we love Robbie Gould, but I've actually read that Robbie Gould is trying to distance himself and set himself up for retirement and get closer to family and stuff. So I think part of it is
you can kick a ball like that. You don't do that shit, man.
I think it's mostly up to Robbie Gould, believe it or not, because most of the initial reports are saying that Gould was the one who was looking to test free agency, and I guess kind of set up the end of his career where he thinks is best for him. But had to throw in some kicker news there at the end.
Offer the bag to that man. Get him out of there. So, dude, Robbie Gould, if you do me dirty and you do not play ball next year, it's going to really mess me up, man.
All right. There's your mock draft in the books and all the news. Dude, that went by so fast. We just had something to talk about consistently there. So let's take a look at a couple teams here, and we'll wrap up. It's fun to have Steven back in the house.
Heck yeah, man.
All right, Tom, we got Burrow and Geno. Love that. Gooder, Washington, great quarterback room, great tight end room. CD, A.J. Brown, JSN, Flowers, a little thin at receiver, but you got two studs, two rookies. Jones, Pacheco, Charbonnet, Singletary, Mostert. I think good running back depth, good running back value throughout the draft as well. Jets defense, Dicker, the kicker, starting Burrow, Goddard, Lamb, Brown, Jones, Pacheco, and your flex. You might have to kind of figure things out here, but got enough rookie upside between Charbonnet and JSN. You could potentially have two starters that are rookies right away. So, if you figure out the flex here, I think you're in a good spot for sure. So let's see.
That initial trio right there between Lamb, Brown, and Burrow is just disgusting, dude.
Even with Jones and Pacheco in there too.
Yeah.
All right.
Pacheco scares me a little bit knowing the Chiefs, man. You never know.
That's fair, but I like Pacheco. All right, we got what's up, Cats? We got Danny Dimes, Jared Goff, two of my favorite late round guys. Love that. Ingram and Njoku, you're good there. C-Mac, Bijan, Hunt, Tucker. I mean, a little thin at running back. Obviously, you're leading on C-Mac and Bijan, so I can't say too much. Garrett Wilson, Mike Williams, Cooper, Deontay, and Mechie. Good receiver value throughout the draft. Broncos, and we got Patterson, the Jags, sleeper kicker, right? So you're starting, let's say, Danny Dimes, Ingram, C-Mac, Bijan, Wilson, Williams, and you're probably flexing Cooper and Deontay. So I think full PPR, you'd be okay here. I'm not crazy about Deontay, but overall, I mean, core roster looks good. And like I said, running back a little bit of an issue here, but at the same time, not really, because he got CMC and Bijan. So Box and the Jack. My homies, Schultz, you're good there. Eckler, Chubb, Jamal, Miller, and Penny. good running back value throughout the draft. A little bit thin,
Jeez.
but yeah, good value here. I mean, leaning on Eckler and Chubb. Pittman, Hollywood, Dotson, J-Mo, Sutton, Shark. Good there, I think.
I love that receiving core. I think Pittman's
Lot of
in for a
upside.
big time year
Yeah.
coming back. I think he's a good sleeper. Although 4th round is not too much of a value based off of last year's ADP.
Yeah. Mahomes, Schultz, Eckler, Chubb, Pittman, Hollywood are your starters, and you throw that upside in the flex, right? Dotson and J-Mo. So you could be all right there. Taylor, what we do tonight, my dude? We got T-Law and Watson, Freiermuth and Nkonkwo. Great quarterback and tight end room. Najee, Dobbins, Herbert, Jalen Warren. Should be good there. A little sketchy at running back.
Running back scares me a little bit, but that is an electric receiving core, man.
Yeah, receiving room is dirty. I mean, JJ, Waddle, Kirk, Judy, Juju. Love that. Myers defense, or excuse me, Ravens defense, Myers at kicker. Starting T-Lon, Freiermuth, JJ and Waddle, Najee Harris and Dobbins, we'll say. And you're flexing Kirk and Judy. And then you still have Herbert, Juju, and Warren and Nkonkwo. So this is a great team. And Watson hanging out too. Yeah.
I hate you for taking Nkonkwo, man.
Yes.
That was my guy right there. I was literally just about to take him.
Steven's mad about that. Taylor gang. We got Jackson, Cousins, Knox, Higbee. I think you're okay there. I like Kirk behind Jackson. Brees Hall, Stevenson, Connor, Gibson. I love that running back room, especially the value of where you got those guys. Jamar Chase, D-Hop, DJ Moore in the 7th, a great value. Bateman, Myers, yeah, good receiving room.
How the hell did DJ Moore fall to 7th?
I don't know.
I didn't even see that happening.
Butker in the Saints defense. So starting Lamar, starting Knox, maybe starting Kirk Cousins. I don't know. But regardless, starting Chase and D-Hop, Brees Hall, Stevenson, probably flexing Connor and Moore. So core roster looks good to me. Let's go.
What do you think happens to Antonio Gibson?
I still like him as like.
Is he a commander next year?
Yes. I still like him as a
I wish he
committee.
would move.
I like him as a committee back.
Yeah, same.
You know. All right, boss man, what we do, broski? Prescott and Rodgers, Komet, I'm good at that. Diggs, Metcalf, London, Tony, Josh Downs, Cooks, good receiver value throughout the draft. Henry, Swift, White, Mixon, and Mitchell, good running back room. Cowboys defense, yeah, man. Starting Prescott and Komet, Diggs and Metcalf, Henry and Swift, flexing White and London. You still have Mixon, Tony, Downs, Rodgers and Cooks and Mitchell on the bench. So that's a solid squad. Got some of your Cowboys on there too, man. I like it.
I like White, man. I like White a lot.
Thomas asking, is the Philip Rivers news real? I think he was keeping in that was a while ago. We got a repeats in the chat, but I think he was keeping in contact with a couple teams.
And, what?
Oh, you didn't hear about that?
Yeah, no, I never heard this.
Oh, he talked to the Niners and the Dolphins last year, but no one ever went through.
About playing quarterback?
Yeah.
Yeah. What?
Yeah. So,
dude, just give it a break, man.
So I thought you'd be excited about that.
That's awesome.
It's not going to happen, though. All right. David says there's no such thing as way too early draft. That's true.
Heck no.
That's true. All right, J-Dubs, what we do, my guy? 2 a time, Trey Lance.
Holy shit, that receiving core. I got to stop.
Mayer.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, J-Dubs likes to go that strat. Just start off strong at receiver. So Hill, Adams, Olave, Watson, Hodgins is beautiful. Hodgins re-signed with the Giants. Danny Dimes is there, so you're good. But Hill, Adams, Olave, Watson's just filthy, especially in a double flex situation, right? So Gibbs, Cook, Robinson, Madison, you got a lot of good youth there as well. Some upside too. I love the Lions defense. I see you saying that they're your sleeper. I love that. Yeah. And the Bassman at kicker. So you're starting we'll say Tua, Pitts, Hill, Adams. I'm gonna say Gibbs and Cook, but if not Cook and Robinson, then I mean you're flexing Olave and Watson. It's a great squad, man. I love it.
Yeah, this is a really fun team. I like this team a lot. I mean,
for sure. Whether
or not Rodgers is in Green Bay, I think is kind of, not important to what Christian Watson does. I think Watson's going to be sick regardless. Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. that was a good stream. We had like so much to talk about. That was awesome.
Let's get it.
Let's do it. So we'll go ahead and wind down here. Thank you guys so much for drafting tonight. Hit the like on the way out. Check out the links down below. And that'll kind of wrap it up for the night. Hit your guys' team reviews. We went over all kinds of NFL news. It was great to have Steven back in the building.
Hell yeah, man. It was fun to be back here. Next time we got to do a Superflex Dynasty, man.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, J-Dub saying Steven needs some Dynasty practice. Yeah. I didn't mean to...
trying to keep me weak, man. Trying to keep me weak.
Yeah. Trying to keep Steven the worst team in League One. But yeah, next week or the week after, whenever, we'll roll with a Dynasty mock with Steven. That'll be a lot of fun, especially to kind of help Steven learn the waters, so to speak. So
yeah, this will definitely be my I'll be pretty green, so to speak.
We'll get you through it. Once you do one or two, you'll be fine, man. But
yeah,
we're gonna have to get you some practice for sure. So I didn't realize how many people haven't even like seen you on the channel yet. Like some of the
I know it's been shit. I think it was we stream the week after the Super Bowl, and then that was basically the last time for what 3 I think it's been 3 weeks now.
Yeah, it's been a minute. So
damn, which is also just sad. I feel like ever since the NFL season ended, dude, my life is just going down a depressing dark hole, man. So
it's gone downhill for sure.
Yeah.
For everyone. So all right, guys.
I see J-Dub's already talking about my trades. That's one thing. I don't care what kind of league format is. The trading is going to be equally as horrible.
Kevin says, what to do, baby? Don't got to make this decision until Labor Day, but who would you keep in full PPR 1 QB? Olave in the 9th. I would keep Olave in the 9th. I think that the Bucs are going to surprise people. They could add another running back, and I think you can get an equal quarterback in your draft pretty easily. I'll go Olave here for sure, Kevin. Not even close for me.
Having Olave in the 9th is going to be very equal to the value I think that you got from Jamar Chase.
Great value on Olave for sure. So
yeah.
I definitely think we're all in favor of Olave there for sure, man. So yeah, especially with Carr there. So all right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much for hanging out tonight. Thank you guys to everyone who swung by. Thank you guys to everyone who drafted with us. Hit the like on the way out. Check out the links down below. Hit that subscribe. Hit us up on Instagram or Discord if you guys need anything. And that'll do it, ladies and gentlemen. So I will let Steven sign off, and then we'll wrap up here.
Hey, man, just had a blast getting back up in here. First stream in a while. First mock draft in a long while. It's just kind of crazy already to see how all the pieces are falling into place. Definitely excited for the super draft. But, yeah, man, had a blast. Always good to hang out with the squad, with the Catch fam. And looking forward to next week.
Let's go. All right, guys. With that, we will say thank you guys so much for watching and or listening. And remember, you saw it here on the Catch. And hey.